show where we are dropping jewels, knowledge, solutions, and having a discourse about all things ownership. And as you know, real estate is the oldest form of ownership that there is. Many people, when it comes to the discussion about millennials and innovation, they often don't think about Black millennials, and they don't typically see us as leaders in real estate. We're here to change all that. H-Town has more than Beyonce, more than the Astros. We've got incredible world stars in the real estate industry ourselves who are innovating, developing, building community, and here to make a change in our city and show that a new generation of leadership is here to stay and here to make a change. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be bringing out one by one each of our star and woke panelists. But first, I'd like to start with a very lovely co-host that will be broadcasting the entire show with me, Mrs. Cherie Jackson. Cherie, welcome! My lovely co-host. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. I love the blazer.
Thank you. I love the hat.
Thank you. Let's get to real estate.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as I was saying before, everyone, Cherie will be my co-host throughout this. And Cherie, I'm so excited to have you as not only as a friend,
yes,
but as a co-host, because you are just an expert in real estate.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people see you and they just see a diva and they don't see the prominent businesswoman that she is. She's the real deal. So tell us who you are and why you joined real estate.
Well, I'm Cherie Jackson. I am the broker and owner of Umbrella Realty, and I'm walking real estate. Well, let me just say this first. I became a part of the real estate industry at a very young age, and pretty much because I have a family that has been home builders, home renovations. You know, I've been a part of the real estate industry way before high school, so it was very inevitable for me to be in the real estate industry.
Oh, wow.
Woken real estate. What was the next question?
Why did you join real estate? Before the wokeness, why did you join real estate?
Well, I joined real estate.
You just were always exposed to it.
I was always exposed to it.
Okay.
I was always exposed to it. It's always been a part of my family. Right. And my father actually is who gave me that prompt to, hey, go to real estate school. And I did. I absolutely fell in love with the industry and did well. So I'm still here.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, I never knew that. Yes. So why are you woke in real estate? And why should we not sleep on the
wire.
new wire? Woke in real estate is the wire, okay? Now we got it. We're here.
Well, I'm woke in real estate simply because I understand that it is the gateway to building wealth and leaving a legacy for your kids. And I'm able to convey that to my clients. And it's just to be a part of something like that in somebody's life. That's what keeps me going more than anything. So don't sleep on the wire, because it's a host of powerful young minds coming together, opening the conversation of building wealth, and not only building wealth, but building wealth in real estate.
Right.
So
win-win. Okay, last question for you, Cherie. What can we expect from you in this new show? And what can we tell our audience what they can expect? Because we've got lots to put out there. There's so much to discuss.
So you can definitely expect to be enlightened. Hopefully, we encourage you to bring the change you want in your community, and just to know that real estate is attainable regardless of where you are in life. And for me, I would say that I am going to give you all of me as it pertains to the subject. I'm very passionate about the subject of real estate, and you can definitely expect to hear my southern drawl. You know, I am a true Texas girl. I'm a native Houstonian, so yeah, some fun and facts is what you should expect. That's definitely going to be a part of the show.
Right. I love it, Southern Belle.
Yes.
And one more thing. So you told us that the name of your company is Umbrella Realty.
Yes.
And most people don't know that there's so much that you can offer people in terms of solutions besides just showing a house. So
Absolutely.
Can you, just so that if people really need to have this one-stop shop,
Yes.
can you tell us some of those things that are under the umbrella of everything that you do?
So if you're looking to gain a home loan, if you need a credit awareness, I'm able to assist you with that. If you are looking to know how to keep your home after the fact that you purchased your home, it's called post-closing service. I am able to educate you on how to protest your taxes and how to arbitrate if you need to arbitrate. If you're not happy with the value that is given to you in the informal or formal boards, then a lot of people don't know that you can also appeal that decision and arbitrate. So full service.
Wow. So you get a lawyer with you and don't have to pay lawyer costs.
You know what I'm saying?
She'll gotta fight for you in court, y'all.
Well, I can definitely guide you on how to, fight those high taxes after you've purchased your home. That's a huge part of home ownership.
Absolutely.
Keeping your home.
Yes. And we are going to talk about how a lot of people end up house poor.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's needed.
And everybody here that we're going to bring out is definitely going to be able to give you that wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Stay tuned.
From a different perspective.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's bring them out, girl.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we've got our first star panelist coming.
Hey, ladies.
Miss Letitia Grant herself. How are you?
Good, and you?
Hey, honey. Yes. You better come through with the culture and slaying it
I'm
too.
trying. Do what I do best on a regular basis.
Yes, I love it.
How are y'all today?
Good. Loving the energy.
Of course.
Yes. So, Letitia,
Yes.
tell us, please. I know all of Houston. For the rest of the world who is outside of Houston, who are you and why did you join real estate?
Well, my name is Letitia Grant. I'm broker owner of TAS Realty Group. I'm also the president of Women's Council of Houston Black Real Estate Association. And I joined real estate at the tender age of 14.
Oh my goodness.
When my grandfather decided that it was important for us to have ownership and place the property in my name. And I became a landlord and had no clue what I was doing.
Oh my God.
And then, of course, later in life, in my 30s, I realized that these things that I'd been doing all this time, I can actually earn a living by doing them. So I jumped into real estate full time and haven't looked back since.
Amen.
Wow.
Yep.
14.
14.
I wouldn't know
Tender
what
age.
to do.
Yes, tender age.
I
Tender
love how
age.
she says tender.
Tender. I pull up at 16. I pull up, collect my rent,
Yes,
and pull
ma'am.
off until one day I knocked on the door and no one was present.
Oh, wow.
No rent, but they left me a lot of trash.
That was a learning
Wow.
experience
Yeah.
right there.
That's exactly what
Oh,
it
I
was.
wish I could have learned that early.
Yes.
I learned that last month. Cherie, what else you got for us?
Well, I would also like to know, Miss Letitia,
Yes.
why do you consider yourself woke in real estate, and why should our audience not be asleep on the wire?
Oh my goodness. So why do I consider myself woke in real estate? I don't understand how you can be in this profession and not be woke.
Yes.
So of course the opposite of woke is being sleep. So why would that be your decision to
Right.
be sleep
Right.
when you can be woke?
Yes.
Right.
And of course the wire is a facet of different topics,
Yeah.
energy, just a group of knowledgeable individuals that's going to come here and bring you their all each and every episode. So that's why you should tune into the wire.
Absolutely.
Right.
Tune it. Stay tuned.
Stay
okay?
tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Okay, so you know all the star panelists and characters that we're going to have in the
Yes.
show. What's unique about what you're going to bring to the
Oh
show?
my goodness. I'm gonna bring you the real.
Right.
I can only be Letitia each and every time I sit on this couch or
Right.
this chair.
Right.
I'm going to bring it to you. And for those of you that know me, know that regardless to how someone else feels about that answer, I'm going to give it the way that it is.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting and very exciting. I would say, I don't want to use the word controversial because that's not what it is. Everyone has their own opinion,
Everybody.
which is definitely valuable. Everyone's
Absolutely.
opinion is valuable.
Right, and sometimes controversial.
And
that's okay.
and sometimes, however, I can only be Letitia.
Right.
And I will be that every episode.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's something that, just what you said, you're going to say what's in the thoughts.
That's right.
But you're going to say it. Hey, it is what it is.
It's
right?
funny, so I tell people I think it happens at the same time. It hits my brain and it comes out
Comes
my
out.
mouth. And it is what it is.
Right. That's what I love
True.
about you.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
speaking of that, you serve on a lot of panels. And
Yes.
so you have a voice. That's very important. A lot of people, when they talk about real estate, especially the newer generations, all just getting money. Getting money, building your business, getting an LLC. But it almost seems like we're leaving the community part out, or, that's not necessary anymore.
Right.
Why do you feel like, the community activism part and the boards that you sit on are so important? And I need to say to the audience, has a business that's been in business longer than most people who talk about that.
Right.
So there must be something that empowers you along the way with that political clock that you have.
So how can I go out and educate and inform someone else about where we're going if we don't know where we've been? So, so that community involvement is extremely important for me. I am from an area. I'm from Acres Home. I live in Acres Home.
Wow.
We can say
She
I
lives
believe
there.
Acres Home. It's important that we can talk about making it all the day that's long.
Right.
But if your neighbor doesn't have the opportunity to make it as well, what does that say about you? Because you had the opportunity to bring them too,
Right.
if they were willing to come.
Right.
So how can I tell my kids I've given my all, or I've supported my community, or
Right.
I've supported my neighborhood, and here I am, I'm the one that made it, and I didn't give back to a group of individuals that I know I could have made an impact on.
I love
So
it.
it's extremely important that we do that. We do a lot of financial literacy to the youth,
Yes.
and that's not taught in the schools. So it's important.
That's right.
And that's why you are so successful.
That is
Y'all
right.
better learn something today. Thank you, Miss
so
Grant.
very
We will
welcome.
see you in the conversation.
Okay. Bye-bye. See y'all later. It was such a pleasure.
Mwah.
All right, and this next guest is very important and close to me, and also doing amazing things in the real estate industry, the finance industry, and we're so happy to have his perspective in The Wire. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Williams. Hey, babe. Thanks for joining.
How are you? Good. Amazing.
You're our first full suit today.
All right. No pressure. No pressure.
Right, love it.
So, Mr. Michael, who are you? And why have you chosen to be in the industry of real estate?
Well, yeah. So my name is Michael Williams. I am my beautiful wife here, the husband of my beautiful wife here. Originally born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. As my wife mentioned, I have a background in finance, and I am an investor here in Houston. Really, why I decided to join real estate, just being in the finance industry, everything kept coming back to real estate. Like the deals that I was looking at, like whether it be underwriting, or working with investors, banks. It was just such a powerful wealth building tool. And I just eventually said, at some point I want to be on the other side of the table. Actually, the person actually making the deals. So lots of people either make or hold their money in real estate, and I just eventually decided to get a piece of the action. So
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah. That's what I said when we were starting a business.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell us why you are woke in real estate and why we should not sleep on the wire woke in real estate.
Well, obviously I'm a black man, and I come from the inner city of Chicago, and my own family, extended family has been affected by the different real estate changes on the south side of Chicago. So, I have a responsibility as someone who's educated both in finance and in real estate, and a certain level of knowledge to be able to do what I can to educate African Americans and make money, but also do it in a socially conscious way.
Absolutely.
So as far as why I think people shouldn't sleep on WIRE, because you have a lot of powerful real estate professionals, lots of knowledge, collectively several years of experience. So really listen to what the people in this group are saying and put it into action. So imperfect action is what they say. So I think those are those are my points there.
Those are good
So-
points. Those are good points. And what can we expect out of the show from your perspective, and what in particular are you bringing?
Yeah. So I'm not a realtor. I'm not a licensed realtor. I'm just an investor, developer, syndicator. I look at it from the perspective of, from the lenses of an investor, basically. So, you do have some realtors and investors in the group, but I'm solely, just on the investing side. So I can look at things I can, talk about, how an investor looks at a particular topic in real estate, and for those who are interested in being real estate investors, ways to go about it, and just really giving my perspective from a developer's investor's eyes. So that's what I'm here to talk about. So hopefully I can provide value.
It's good that you say that, because there's a lot of folks that believe that being a real estate agent and a real estate investor is perhaps the same thing.
Right.
But they're not. They're totally two different animals. So that was a good point that you made about that. There's definitely a difference.
Yes, there is. And speaking of that difference, I want to say to you, babe, honey, one of the things that I admire about you is you don't just walk the walk, you talk the talk.
Absolutely.
And when we get to this conversation of businesses and, building wealth, and I know we're really excited, to make a change and to be, the next level that maybe prior generations forgot about. But it seems like there's just so much talking out there. And now I see a lot of people saying, well, you don't even need college and blah, 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 which is true in some cases, right? But in your case, whether it's formal education or informal, mastery is really important. So can you speak to our viewers about why education, again, whether it's formal, which gives you president, or informal, which should be even more intense because now you got to get it yourself. Why is that so important?
Well, I think, we live in a competitive world. So that's just, I didn't make the rules. That's just the way it is. And we're not only competing with, I don't say competing is a bad word, but we are competing with people. So not only competing with people who may be less educated, but you're also competing with people who may be more educated.
That's right.
And knowledge.
And got money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And knowledge is always an advantage. So, get as much knowledge as you can. Don't just
Jump into it.
Don't just jump into it.
Right.
But at the same time, don't just be getting knowledge into perpetuity, and not
Never
taking
acting.
action.
Analysis
So-
paralysis.
Yeah.
but no, I think knowledge is very important because the more knowledge you have, the better decisions you're able to make, and the more competitive you're able to be.
Absolutely.
With the global, because it's a global market now. So
Right.
you're not only competing against people in your neighborhood, you're competing against people in the country and globally.
Around the world.
So,
That's really true.
Very
You
good.
really got to keep that in mind.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yes.
We
All
can't
right,
wait to
thank you
get
all.
into the
Yes.
debates,
Be
and
the
we
thing.
will see you on the hot seat.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All right.
All right, and next we are bringing out the amazing Sierra Jarman. CC, our own CC.
Our own CC.
Woo-woo. Hello, pretty and purple. Thank you
What's
for
up,
joining
girl?
us today, lady.
Hi.
Yes.
So, we're bringing you out today to introduce you. So, to let the audience know who you are and why did you choose real estate?
Okay, so I'm Sierra Jarman. My company is Theos Mortgage. I'm also a realtor. I've been a realtor for about 8 years now. And I got into real estate because of my dad. He was in real estate in 04, 05, right when there was like a big boom happening. So he decided to teach me through my high school years, and then I actually ended up getting my license when I was in college, and that helped me kind of put myself through school for a little while. So.
Yes.
Nice. I'm learning stuff about people that I didn't even know.
I
Like, how come you never told me? You wait till we get on camera.
That's how I kind of started with the family.
Exactly. And that's why I was saying when you had that in common, because my dad is who kind of pushed me into real estate as
good.
well. My dad's a home inspector, so
Okay.
30 years, and he was like, "Hey, you got to go get your real estate license." So
Right.
that's
Okay,
a good point.
like,
that's how we
yeah,
kind of
like,
go
okay.
like that.
So, Sierra, why are you woke in real estate, and why should our audience not sleep on the wire?
So I would say I'm woke in real estate. I love that term. I love when we were kind of coming up with this because to me, being woke in real estate means just understanding the opportunities in real estate. So understanding that real estate is a great platform for wealth building, and then specifically in our community, because it's something that we haven't taken advantage of a lot, just learning about it in a way that kind of I guess in a way that empowers our community. So being woke in real estate to me is kind of learning about it in a way that you're able to help others. It's not just for yourself, but being able to awaken others.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Blessed to be a blessing.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Right. And then speaking of that, one last thing that I want you to tell our audience. What I know and what I love about you is that you're a wife and you're a mom and you're a serial entrepreneur. Like, not only is she involved in real estate, but everything that has to do with sisters who are building up each other and their community and their businesses, the hills and hustle, like everything. So when you said yes to being a part of this, I was like, we got So tell us, why is that so important to you? Being involved in so many organizations where you feel like you can connect with other Black women and help build their platforms up and collaborate.
Okay, so like I said, so for me, real estate has always been very much a foundational platform to wealth. So it's like you have real estate, but then on top of that, you also have to have business. You have to have ownership. You have to be able to provide something for yourself and your family and that legacy. So being able to do that for myself, of course, that's something that I want to be able to share with others. So like I said, just that being awakened, the whole point of it is to be able to help and to be able to inspire other people to do the same thing. And who else am I going to help but people who look like me, who are in the same situation as me, which is other Black women, other women who are mothers, who are entrepreneurs and who are just getting started. I had a great support system. Like I said, my dad was in real estate. I wasn't the first person in my family to go to college, that type of thing. So I had a large support system for me. So I definitely wanted to make sure, and even within my family, I'm like that go-to person. I want to make sure that I'm always capable of being that go-to person for other women, because we've been fortunate enough to have so many blessings. And because we've been fortunate enough to be those risk takers and learn a lot of lessons through mistakes, through good and bad. And so, of course, I want to be able to share that with others so that they don't have to make those same mistakes. It's kind of that whole lineage thing. Like I said, my dad did that for me, and he was like, you don't have to make the same mistakes I do, so now I do that for my younger siblings, for my younger cousins, for anybody else who wants to do it. Like, we can all kind of grow and feed off of each other. So when I was joining these other groups, it was specifically because I felt like I had a wealth of knowledge that I'm able to offer other people. And then on top of that inspiration, that I still, I still have my own full-time job. I still have my own kids. I still have a family, all that other stuff. And I need the support too. Right. So I want to make that clear. I needed the support as well of other entrepreneurs doing the same thing that I was doing. And so hopefully able to provide that network within each other.
Right. Wow, you're such an inspiration.
I know. But we are so happy to have you, Sierra.
I'm happy
and
to
we
be
will
here.
see you soon on the hot seats where we dive into some of these topics that you were talking about.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
Yes.
I'm learning so much about everybody.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
So, who's next?
Next is the one and only, undeniable, and you're going to see why in just a minute,
Lord.
okay? Ken Gilliard, everybody. Woo! Welcome. See, I knew he was going to do something. He brought in the shades. You got to have one in every show. How's it going, Ken?
Hey, how you
Mo
doing?
D.
How you doing?
I like
man.
the pants.
Oh, thank you.
I like
just,
the shoes.
Cherie, we have been one up.
Look, GQ.
you got
Right.
to, when you're doing things like this, when you're talking about real estate, you got to look good. You look good,
Absolutely.
you feel good.
Right.
Absolutely.
Be memorable.
Absolutely.
Love it.
That's right. Y'all look good while you're in wealth,
Absolutely.
right?
Right.
Absolutely. That's what it's about.
So, So we brought you here today so
Yes.
you can introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and why have you chosen to be in the real estate industry.
Yes.
Well, my name's Ken Gilliard. I'm CEO of G&G Wealth Enterprises. I would say the reason why I got into real estate is, I love it. I love it. I've been interested in real estate since I was in my early 20s. Now I'm in my late 20s and really understand it. I enjoy it. I love it. I sleep, I breathe it, I study it. When you really enjoy something, it's like it's not even a job anymore. It's just something I love to do every day. Even when I'm faced with some type of problem, I'm like, yes, how can I solve this problem? So I can learn, so I can educate myself on
That's
these
good.
things. So,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
We feel the energy.
Absolutely.
Yes,
it's
there's so
great.
many people out there that want to be able to say they love what they
Real
do.
estate,
Right.
Like
exactly.
seriously, some people just get into it because it's like I got to make money, but
Money.
you love
Right.
it and you're making money.
Oh, yeah, I will honestly say, if you want to get real estate, don't be expected to make money initially.
Immediately,
You
right.
immediately,
Right.
you know.
Whoop, whoop. That's why we're here. We're gonna get
Yes.
to the real of the show.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But if you truly, deeply enjoy what you do, it's more than about. It's not. It won't even be about money anymore.
Right.
Because you really enjoy
The money
it.
will follow.
Absolutely.
after.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
That's all right.
So
Yeah.
Ken, tell us, why are you woke in real estate, and why should our audience not sleep on the wire?
I would say, one reason why I'm woke in real estate is, education, right? A lot of people are not educated on what they have, right? Especially people in our culture. Like, real estate is very, very, very important. And whenever you control real estate, you control the world, right? No matter if you can own a business in a particular side of town, but if you don't own that real estate, you basically just rent that business, basically. So I think it's important for us to really engage and to learn what we have in real estate, and as we educate ourselves as a community, we grow as a community, right? And that's why I'm a part of it. I want to
all
educate
about
my
growth.
people.
Right.
I want to give back to my people that didn't necessarily have the opportunity to, or don't think they have the opportunity to invest or to be a part of real estate, or to be a part of this, basically.
Both
that's-
of those are important.
Exactly, and that's what we're hoping to give, just to inspire
Absolutely.
and encourage, to let you know, hey, it's there. We have achieved it. You can achieve it as well.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
thank you for giving us that message.
Yes. Well, I'm still achieving and learning from our star panelists every day. And one thing I want to say about you, Ken, that I really admire and find inspirational is that you're always looking to innovate and you're always a part of something. And I feel like you're like the definition of a millennial, and I feel like I'm that way, and the world needs to see us
Right.
and know us and see that color when
Right.
it comes to that next generation. And
Right.
so tell us really quick before we leave the conference that you're working on. What is
Oh, my
just,
goodness,
just
it's
go.
on the spot.
I know it's on the
with
spot.
that.
Just tell it. Give us a teaser about what it's about
Just a
and
little bit.
what the Houstonians can expect from one of our star panelists.
Right, so my company, G&G Wealth Enterprise, is working on a Houston Real Estate Wealth Expo. And we included wealth, our business name is wealth, but we included wealth because true wealthy people own real estate, right? But we want to basically bring all these good people together. I'm a part of all these different groups. We have all, Houston Black Chamber of Commerce, the Houston Black Real Estate Association. We have all these different people. You got people, talking about investing in Airbnbs and people that invest and stuff. We have all these people that do it separately. Why not bring these people together and have them in one place?
Right.
And then basically have this a place where everybody has a bunch of resources and they can learn from each other.
Right.
And it's basically everybody that's in this world, they can learn different things.
right.
Even though we've been in real estate, we don't know everything and we won't know
Right.
everything.
No.
But if we piggyback off each
Off
other,
each other.
Right.
we will grow. And so
Right.
that's the vision for the expo. I'm really excited working with my business partner and growing this expo. She's on it every day. Like
Wow.
she's like,
Right. And it's your girlfriend, right?
yeah.
Right.
She's
Who's a sister? Let me just say.
she's the other G in the G&G Wealth.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Yes.
So she's like she breathes it every day. Like
Power couple.
every interaction that she has is about the expo. And when she first started talking about it, I'm like, oh, whatever. But then when I started seeing her vision, I was like, I think I want to be a part of it.
You get that money.
I better, right?
Right.
I better know. But she's definitely been engaging with people. She's definitely been getting people, interested in it. We expect it to be extremely big, for sure.
All right. Well,
That's
you've
gonna be a
heard it
powerhouse.
first. You've heard it first where?
Right here on the wire.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Ken.
All right,
We'll
thank
see you
you.
soon on the hot
Absolutely.
seat.
Absolutely.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
y'all.
All right. Girl, we gotta get a vendor table.
Yes, we do.
Love it.
All right. So he was cool, right?
Yes, absolutely. Too cool.
So who's next?
Girl, let me tell you, next is the one and only incredible graduate of the prestigious University of Oklahoma. I
Really?
said Boomer Sooner in the house.
Oh,
We've
wow.
got Mrs. Alexia Sims coming.
Hey, Lexi.
Hey, love. My fellow Sooner grads. We gotta represent,
Yes.
okay? OU grads are doing big things.
Big things.
Okay.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm
That's
excited.
Good. That's good. So we brought you here today so we can introduce you to the audience. And we just want you to say, who you are and why did you choose real estate as a profession?
So like they said, my name is Lexi Sims, and I chose real estate kind of mostly because I wanted to invest. So I'm actually an engineer turned real estate professional, and I spent 7 years doing that and just was so unfulfilled in it. And so in my quest to learn more about investing, I kind of put myself on this personal mission to really be a resource to other people because there's so much of a lack of knowledge and just a whole bunch of untruths that are out there about real estate and what it takes to own a home. And so that just really kind of motivated me to get into real estate.
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And you may have been unfulfilled by engineering, but your education and your intelligence, and I'm not just saying this because we're students, it's so apparent.
Thank
It's
you,
like
thank you.
I actually think you're the youngest star panelist.
I might
But-
be. I'm not going to tell you how old I am.
Obviously ahead of her years, right?
Mhm.
So, Lex, tell us why you are woke in real estate and why should our audience not sleep on the wire?
I would say I'm woke in real estate mostly because of mindset, right? And so a growth mindset. Here we are now, and so how do we take that and proceed forward? Whatever your that is, how are you using that as a catalyst to do something more for yourself? And then what was the question? Why are we woke?
Why should
why
why
am I not asleep?
Why should
We
they
woke
not be
because you
asleep
should not
on
be
us?
You should not be asleep on us because for one, look at this interaction. Like, are we having a good time? Who doesn't like to have a good time, right? But I also think that just being amongst all of us together is going to be super hard for you not to be like motivated to take over the whole world, right?
Absolutely.
Whatever you set your mind to do, you're going to look at us and be like, okay, maybe I could do that, right? Because we're
Right.
regular people too. So
Yes,
I think it's going to be
absolutely.
great for people.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm excited. Let's just get into the topics right now. Okay, so before you leave, Lex, I've got one last question for you. A lot of people think being a realtor is a dying breed. Like they're saying, hey, we're in this generation now where you can just Google stuff and we don't need people just to open a door is what they perceive it as. But someone like you who puts out 1 Minute Wednesdays all the time, you put out a 1 Minute Wednesday
I'm
every
consistent.
Wednesday.
Very consistent.
But that's how much knowledge you have. And then I know you
Right.
serve on development boards
Right.
in your area. So why do you think having a realtor is so essential to this conversation and to our community, despite people thinking,
They can do it
technology will
themselves.
take that.
Right.
You can't take away that kind of knowledge. A
Right.
computer can't do 1 Minute
at
Wednesday.
all, and not like I do it, of course.
Right.
But I really think it comes down to a service, right? So if your faucet was leaking, would you do it yourself or would you call a plumber?
Right.
If your electricity went out, are you calling the electrician or are you doing it yourself?
Right.
And so there are people who are in position to help you with what you need, and you shouldn't negate or try to diminish their knowledge and the things that they can share with you. Yes, things can come cheaper, but really with real estate, what you get is that person, right? So we all help you buy, we all help you sell, but what you get is me and what I offer, and that's just knowledge and being personable, right? I like to have a
Absolutely.
good time.
Right.
While yes, it's very
Right.
serious and all that, but we can accomplish your goals, have a good time, and not be in a situation that say you got yourself somewhere where you don't understand something, right?
Right.
That's where that professional comes into play so that you can make sure that you're being taken care of from start to finish.
That's right. That's
I
right.
love
Real
it.
estate is definitely a relationships business.
For sure.
And don't mistake our license for Zillow search. I'm just telling
It's not
you.
the same. Not the
At
same.
all. Matter of fact,
Not
Zillow
the
search,
same.
the prices ain't even
It's wrong. Your
clean.
estimate is not right.
Well, Lexi, we are so excited to
Yes.
have you on our panel, a part of our amazing debates. And
we're gonna
I'm
have
just so
lots of
happy.
fun.
Yes, we are. I'm so excited.
Lots of fun.
So we will see you soon on the
Thank
house.
you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not bragging. And UT people, we serve you too. You know,
Yes.
I'm not bragging, but
Yes.
there's just something about a Sooner grad. What can I say? All right, so our last guest today, our our panelist,
Yes.
is none other than an architect who is changing the architecture of Houston for our community and beyond.
And I'm excited to meet him and
Yes.
show him the world.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Robel.
Yes.
Your name.
How you doing?
Robel, did I say your last name right?
Yeah, I'm doing Yamane.
Yamane.
Yes,
See, you
Yamane.
gotta get that right. This is the one and only Mr. Yamane.
Yes.
Welcome.
How you doing today?
Pretty well by yourself.
Good, good. Good to have you in the hot seat.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So, Robel, tell us who you are and why you joined real estate.
Okay, so everyone, my name is Robel Yamane. I'm a local architect here in Houston, Texas. I started a company based upon innovation and inspiring the youth. The company is an architecture engineering firm. We're the first architecture engineering firm that's licensed in Houston, being a minority-owned firm that not only does residential, but commercial. So we do shopping centers, we do restaurants, we do retail, we do hospitality, and we do single-family homes, we do multifamily homes. So our goal is to inspire people that look like us, right?
Yes.
And the only way you can inspire people that look like you is to be yourself.
That's
and,
right.
and so forth. So happy to be here. And
Wow, you're such an inspiration. I think you bring.
I didn't know the last part. The shopping centers.
Oh,
I knew the homes
Yeah.
and stuff. Wow. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
Well,
Sheree.
that's what I was just going to say. He brings so much value to the industry, and just
Right.
being a young entrepreneur like you are is so inspiring.
Right.
So tell us also, why do you feel like you're woke in real estate, and why should the audience not sleep on the wire?
okay, good question. So I feel like I'm woke in real estate for multiple reasons. I feel like I'm woke in real estate because I went to school knowing that I wanted to do architecture. Architecture is one of the only fields where you can have an imagination, draw that imagination on paper, and then walk by it.
Absolutely.
Meaning by that you can sketch something and then draw by your sketch.
Absolutely.
That's
So,
a great way to put it.
like what industry, accounting, nursing, being an attorney, being a doctor, you cannot draw something, draft something, and then it be tangible.
Absolutely.
So architecture is something where if you put something together that's well and think about the human ergonomics, so the way a door handle feels,
Absolutely.
the way a chair feels, how it hugs your body, how it's round. It's one of the only industries where you can feel your work.
Absolutely.
Right. And so the reason why I feel like I'm woke in real estate is for multiple reasons. I feel like I'm woke because I've had the educational background. I've had the experience. I've worked for other people, and I understand now more than ever gentrification at its finest.
Yeah.
And because of gentrification, I want to be able to work with my people who live in these underrepresented neighborhoods, and say, hey, you don't have to move out because tax raises are higher. You can build affordable housing and partner with people who want to benefit from this initiative.
Right.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm woke in real estate for multiple reasons. I feel like I'm woke in real estate because I have the background and because I'm here. I'm destined to be here to inspire and encourage and educate and acknowledge and just give as much knowledge as I can.
Absolutely. You all were introduced to Robel Yamane, the next wave of architecture, design, and innovation right here on The Wire. So don't you forget where you learned about him. And I just want to, the last thing that, I want to ask you is, I don't know if you remember this, Sheree, but you were talking in one of the conversations we had when we were putting this together, and you said you could have partnered with some of your white colleagues and networks, or other cultures. I mean, I think you went to Kansas, right?
Yes.
I went to OU.
Okay.
So, we all know other people that we can partner with. And basically, you said you could have got on, per se, a lot quicker. You could have
Yes.
made money quicker, and for a lot of people that are just focused on, like, getting money and hustling, like, hey, if the money is there, you don't turn it down. Why was that so important for you to wait until you had other black architects which could take a while to build your firm, and was a sacrifice worth it?
Okay. So it was really important for me to partner with people that look like me. And people who look like me doesn't mean that they have to be from the same region that I'm
Right.
from, or even the same country that I'm from. But it have to be people that when I look at them, I can relate to them. I could have partnered with people who I went to school with. I went to a predominantly a white high school. I went to a predominantly white college, and the impact that you gain from someone or some people that look like you versus not is night and day. And I wanted to build a company based upon educating folks that would be able to relate to me, and I would be able to relate to them. So I've always felt like, you know, being a motivational speaker is a great way to inspire people, right? And the only way you can inspire people is if you go into their environment,
That's right.
right? And the only way they can accept you is if they look like you,
That's right.
right? Like if someone
Or
who does
fully
not
accept you.
if someone who does not look like you, they're gonna be on their phone. They can ignore you. They're not even gonna take you serious. But if they look like you, they sound like you, they talk like you, they got the same composure, the same clothing, the same tattoos, complexions,
Yeah.
whatever hairstyle, they're gonna be able to relate to you. So
And think I can do
Yes,
that too.
yeah.
Because they,
exactly. So for me, it was really, really important to partner with people who were of color and who had the same goals, the same aspirations, and wanted to do something with themselves outside of, you know, we all have to earn a living.
Right.
Right. But there's more to it than just making money, right? It's
Right.
about building generational wealth.
Yes.
And the
That's
way
right.
you can do that and expand that is to educate the youth as a whole.
Right.
And
So-
I'm just going to say that I know Robel to really walk his talk because he has met with me and my son
Wow.
at no charge early
Wow.
one morning.
I didn't know.
Because my son is 17, he's a senior, and he's an inspiring architect. And he took his time and
Wow.
showed him plans and just broke the business down to him. So I appreciate that publicly.
No problem.
Wow, that is so
No problem.
powerful. That's so beautiful.
Yes.
Yes. WIRE, y'all.
He talks. He not only talks the talk, but he walks it as well, y'all.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
That's right.
That's how I believe.
We appreciate you so much, Rebel. Honored to have you on the panel, and we
Yes.
will see you in the hot seat
Thank
when
you
we have
for-
this conversation.
Yes.
Thanks for
Get
having me.
into
I'm
things.
excited to be part of the group. And
Yes.
until next time.
All
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Till next time.
All right.
See you in the next episode.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. That was our last panelist. I just want to start the next episode right now.
I know. Let's roll.
Right. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps it up.
Wait.
What?
We are not. You, ma'am. You have to tell the audience who you are.
Okay.
And what are you doing in real estate?
Okay, you're
Why
right.
You shouldn't be
You're
broke
right.
on the wire. Come on now.
Okay. Well, see, I feel like I introduced the show, but you're
Yes.
right. I introduced everybody else. So, well, hello, everybody. Again, my name is Carla Marie Williams, a.k.a. C. Marie. And I am just so happy and honored to be a Houstonian, a black woman, a millennial.
My friend.
My co-host friend, her girl. And I joined real estate because I love entrepreneurship. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Yes, you are.
I've been doing things since I was a teenager, and I didn't even know, hey, I'm being creative and I'm being a creator. It was just like, I want to do stuff, and I love challenging the status quo.
Yes.
However, with challenging the status quo sometimes and having that creativity and always wanting to develop, that can cause risk, and taking risk can cause a lot of money.
Yes.
And when I got married and I was still doing some of those
Yes.
things, my husband and I, we sat together and said, how can we merge my husband's Michael, how can we merge our passions to make sure that we always have a continuum
That's
where
right.
it's still entrepreneurship, it's still innovation,
Yes.
but it for sure, regardless of how good the idea is and how much it works or doesn't work, is something proven that can build over and over.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's okay, even if you're an innovative, creative person, to try the tried and true.
Well, I just commend you how you bring you and your husband together.
Thank you.
And y'all are doing this together as a power couple.
Thank
so
you.
That was it's just a creativity all over.
Yes.
All over this right
So-
here.
We are opposites, so we work well in this.
Oh, yes.
You know, he does a lot of the due diligence, and I do a lot of the relationship building.
Yes.
And we're definitely about to get back. We're hoping to get into commercial.
Good.
We've done fix and flips. We've done wholesaling. We need to do more of it. The
Yes.
Houston market is saturated, but
Saturated.
competition keeps you on your toes.
Hey. And what's for you is for you.
That's
So-
right. Okay, what was
That's
your
right.
other question? I know I asked that question to everybody
Okay,
else.
So the next question is, why are you woke in real estate, and why should the audience not sleep on the wire?
Okay, well, I am woke in real estate because to be woke means to be enlightened, to be awakened is what wokeness really means. Sometimes we use a term so much that we forget what it means, like power to the people. What is power? Knowledge is power. How do you apply the knowledge? So to be woke means to be awakened to the idea that there's darkness somewhere. There's somewhere that there are shadows and light is not being exposed on it. And so I think in many different ways what the wire represents is it's bringing to the light all of the areas that we don't realize that we need. Not only the inequality in America, the fact that, hey, there's a reason that we're in this condition.
That's
you know, everybody wants to have a family. Everybody wants to, be able to build. But there's some reason that we've been behind.
That's right.
And we need to expose ways that other people have been able to catch up quicker than us. And, I think in terms of being woke or enlightened to this, it's been for me like a lifetime journey. I used to go to the Tavis Smiley Youth Summit conferences. I was always law of attraction. I was always attracted to that which was a part of my people, and that helped push us forward. So that's a little bit about my story. I could talk all day because this was my baby. So just cut me off.
I commend you and I congratulate you.
Thank you.
I thank you
Thank
for
you,
being who
Cherie.
you are, ma'am. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. And we will see you on the next episode. But here, before you leave, is a powerful clip with the forever woke. The hove of wealth building and generational wealth and what our community needs to do to get it. This is a clip with The WIRE and the one and only Dr. George C. Frazier.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and IG, Woke in Real Estate.
Stay woke.
Yes.
America, are you asleep? We are woke. That's right. We are here live with Woke in Real Estate. And speaking of woke, speaking of real estate, speaking of entrepreneurship and wealth building, we've got the king of it, Dr. George C. Frazier, right here on Dr. Frazier, thank you for keeping it so real with our generation. Thank you for the Power Networking Conference and pouring back to us so that we can have ladders to get to where you have been and to build a bridge for all of our audience. So we just want to thank you so much. We just got, your time is money. We just want to pick your brain just a little bit today.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. I think I can handle it.
So we have discussed the history, the forecast for the African American generation, and unfortunately the outcome is not as we'd like to see it. From you, what would you say the one thing that we can concentrate on to help change our narrative?
Oh, I think the most important conversation going on and must continue over really the next 5 generations is economic development and wealth creation. I think economics has to become the new black power. This is what we must focus on. We must close the income and wealth gap between blacks and whites in America, and that's going to require raising our level of economic and financial education and literacy. We are a financially illiterate people, as evidenced in how we spend our money, how we recycle our dollars, etc. We're 1.3 trillion-dollar annual economy, and our money goes in one direction away from us, and we're some of America's most conspicuous consumers. We are the consumption class, they are the merchant class, they make stuff and we buy stuff. So we have to fix that. We have to change our mindset. We have to get conscious about what it takes to succeed in a market-based economy in a democratic capitalistic society. You cannot do it without money. So unless we fix the economic issues that underline our progress, we will work our way into a second slavery.
I love it. Black power can't just be a fist.
Right. No, that's right. That's right. A fistful of money. In fact, can you see that? I can see a fist and dollars sticking out. Right? That's right. Economics is the new black power. There you go. I like that.
Dr. Frazier, what is your take on helping our community strengthen the positive self-fulfilling prophecies that we have and reverse the negative stigma that we have with any or towards each other?
Yeah, well, I think we have to get more conscious and more woke. We have to really understand who we really are, that we are the children of the slaves that would not die, that we have the genetic encoding of the great kings and queens of Africa, that we were building pyramids and solving complex engineering problems when other cultures were living in huts eating each other, really. And in spite of the fact that America kept its foot on our throat for 350 years, we overcame that and we rose like the phoenix. So if everything happens for a reason and serves us in some special way, and we will never understand that reason looking forward, and we will only understand it looking backwards, if in fact that is the truth, maybe we were not brought here. Maybe we were sent here. Do you believe that God would put his weakest people here to do his toughest job? I don't think so. How could an America?
Rewind
There you go. Let me finish it. I was on a roll. So how could an America who could morally, spiritually, and biblically justify the kidnapping, raping, and pillaging of another two people, natives already in America, and Africans brought to America, have any moral or spiritual grounding? And perhaps had God not sent Africans here, America might have self-destructed. Right? So we had awesome and powerful people, and we don't understand that power. And once they understand that power. Make no mistake about that. And everything they did to us for 14 generations during the most oppressive period of slavery in the history of humankind, because it was intergenerational slavery, helped us to understand they knew how powerful we were, and they wanted to erase our memories, right? So we have forgotten that we have forgotten. So once we understand, once we visit places like Egypt, and places like the coastal countries on the Atlantic, where we must honor and recognize the struggle our ancestors went through, but most importantly, recognize the 6,200 years of incredible excellence, right? And understand what's in our DNA. We will be a force to be reckoned with.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Absolutely. One last question.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Frazier, what is the importance of real estate and entrepreneurship in solving the racial wealth gap?
Oh my God. One of the things in the curriculum, the WINS curriculum, as you know, we're opening up 10,000 faith-based wealth building centers, right? And one of we're going to teach in our curriculum what we call the 4 pillars for the intergenerational transfer of wealth. So that we don't be the first generation, baby boomers at least, we are not the first generation to raise another generation that will be worse off. That's where we're headed, right? So the 4 pillars for the intergenerational transfer of wealth, number 1 is the proper management of accumulated wealth, right? So that we can start reading about entertainers and athletes who earn $100 million in their career, and then within 5 years of retirement, they're either broke or in bankruptcy. How about 67%? That's the improper management of accumulated wealth. There are 35,000 black millionaires in America and 2.2 million black households worth $400,000 or more, much of it tied up in real estate, right? The question is, are they properly managing that wealth? And the answer is no. So that's the first pillar for the intergenerational transfer of wealth. The second is real estate. What's the first thing God gave Adam? Real estate. The first thing God gave Isaac? Real estate. You can't pass on a rent payment right? You can pass on real estate. And we came over here on the Mayflower, and we still own the fewest number of homes per capita of any culture group in this country, right? And we came over here on the Mayflower. So real estate is the second pillar for the intergenerational transfer of wealth, and then the third is business ownership. Right? Because you can't pass on a job. I don't care if you make $250,000 a year when you leave that job, that's the end of that salary. You can't give it to your son or your daughter. Right? So creating work and jobs for our people, because that's the only way to raise up the poor, that we ultimately must become the number one employer of our own people by the end of the 21st century. Right? Every immigrant group that has ever come here has understood that, the black people. Right? Jews are the number one employer of Jews, Asians are the number one employer of Asians, East Indians are the number one employer of East Indians, Arabs are the number one employer of Arabs. We must become the number one employer. So business development. And then the fourth and final is proper insurance. I think that's the cornerstone. 60% of all wealth is transferred through proper insurance, strategic and tactical placement of insurance, right? So we don't want to die and leave our children in debt. Right? One of three things is going to happen in your life. You're going to live too long, die too soon, or you're going to get sick. You must protect your wealth and your assets, and you do it through proper placement of insurance. Whether you own a business or whether you're employed, we need. If there's one thing I could do, if I could be God and wave a magic wand, right, and do one thing for black people, I would properly insure 46 million black people. That's what I would do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You've heard it here. Welcome Real Estate. Tomorrow is Dr. Martin Luther King's celebration here in Houston. Dr. Martin Luther King said he went to the top of the mountain and he saw the promised land. We are creating the promised land right here in Welcome Real Estate with this kind of knowledge. We need the land, we need the insurance people, and we need the knowledge to know how. Dr. George C. Fraser, thank you so much again for your time. Yes, stay woke.